You are listening to an All Games Radio Network broadcast of allgames.com.
Hi, this is Normie from Knuckleballer Radio and Zombie Cast, and you're listening to one of my favorite shows on the Geeky Antics Network. Don't forget to check out the rest of the gang over at geekyantics.net. Warning, there might be rants and food ahead and possibly inappropriate behavior. Don't tell anybody though.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to HorsePLAY Live episode 188. And you'll notice I'm a little out of it. We're not going to bring the hype like we usually do, because it's a serious note tonight. And if you're new to the show, you may want to check in on another episode. This may not be the best entry point. But today is July 20th, 2017. It's a bit of a melancholy day. Not just because of, the kind of somewhat late breaking news of Chester Bennington of Lincoln Park hanging himself. Not too long ago, Chris Cornell, his own friend, killed himself. That's rough on itself. But we've had our own loss in the community. Man, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, War Child. But by the way, I'm Yogizilla, a.k.a. Yomar. We got War Child Mark IV here, a.k.a. Everett. We're your hosts tonight. We thank you for joining us. I'm having trouble getting through this without getting choked up. I think it's finally hitting me. Whew, okay, deep breath.
It's gotta be done, man.
It's kind of it's harder when you have to actually say it out loud, All right, shaking it off. I'm not even gonna lie. I know Josh. Josh recently passed away a couple of days ago. Heart attack. Capital anyone. And we haven't been as close as we used to be. Not because we had a falling out or anything, but we just got in the hustle and bustle of thing. Raising our families and getting stuck in the hustle and bustle of work, and always kind of getting that position of we'll get to it. Next time, and sometimes that next time doesn't roll around.
Yeah, sometimes you get caught up with a lot of stuff that's going on in your life. I mean, everybody's got families and jobs to the point where it's kind of hard to actually connect with friends whenever you want to, but it's still important. It needs to be done. Now, I've always valued friendships like, basically, if you had seen somebody in, I don't know, let's say years or whatever, right? But they still remember you and they treat you like family, despite the fact that the time has been so long. For example, recently I saw one of my coworkers that I hadn't seen him in 2 years. Ironically enough, where I worked at, I could literally look across the way out the window and see the area where they worked at. And back in my mind, I'm like, God, I got to get over there to see everybody that I've missed. And a couple of days ago, as soon as I saw him, went up to give him the bro hug, but instead of the bro hug, I got like a full on hug, like family hug, man. But
Yep.
relationships like that, you really got to cherish, and we as people, we can do a lot better as far as communicating with friends and family. And I think what tends to happen is we tend to get lax in our actions, and we don't really back our emotions as strongly as we should, or we just, like you said, we just get caught up in everything to the point where it gets pushed to the bottom. I think if you got friends and important people out there in your life, you need to let them know how you feel. If you hadn't talked to that grandmother in years, you hadn't talked to that cousin in years, even if you didn't like your cousin, I've got a cousin I don't really like, to the point where I refuse to help her. But even still, it's like, that's family. Even close friends should be treated like family, because God put them in your life for a reason. Or even if you don't believe in God, there's a reason that they're there. Me personally, I'm Christian, been Christian for the longest time. I believe in God, and I believe that things happen for a reason. I believe people are put into our lives for a reason. And you just gotta celebrate that, and celebrate your friends, celebrate your family. Don't forget about them. Let them know that you still care.
Yeah, and to me, like, one of the marks of a good friend, like a true friend, is just someone that, no matter how long it's been since you last talked, you feel that connection and you pick up where you left off. Where there's people that you may deal with day in and day out, but it's just kind of going through the motions, but there's nothing really there, I think that's the big difference. And just Josh, and, many of you might know him as Rarrapuda. He was just a really nice guy. I mean, you hear that a lot when people talk in retrospect, but I honestly just stopped to think about it, and I kind of had a conversation with God, and I was like, I actually can't think of a time where he was mean-spirited at all, not even in a joking manner, like, not even passive-aggressive. I can't think of any time where he was like that. He was just a kind soul. We used to joke that he was kind of like a stereotypical Canadian, always apologetic and always really nice and polite, and he really was that guy. And he left Canada to live the American dream, start his family, white picket fence, all that stuff, working man. He put in long hours at work, long hours with his family, making sure he was there for his wife and his son, Renee. And, it finally just hit me, like, today was really just creeping up. Like, I was still in shock, and then actually talking it out again, and like, what finally got me was I saw the post about the ceremony, and I was like, okay, now it's real, now we can't make it, say in our head, oh, this is just a really cruel joke. That'd be terrible. All the people looking at this page and they find that out that it's just like a bunch of people in on a gag. That'd be in poor taste. Yeah, part of me still hopes that that's the case. But I mean, the ceremony's this Saturday. They're doing it pretty quickly. So that's gonna be, for frame of reference, July 22nd. Is my math right?
Is that next Saturday?
No, this Saturday, apparently.
This Saturday, yeah. Tomorrow's the 21st. Yeah, the 22nd. That's 22nd.
10:30. I'm gonna assume, since he's in Louisiana, this is what are they? That's Central Time, right?
Yeah, because it's close to Texas, so that's like how many hours behind?
I think I want to say they're on Central, not Mountain.
Yes, they're Central. They're Central.
So, 10:30 was 10:30 local time. So you probably want to get out there early if you're driving far away. The address, I guess we might as well bring it up because just share it here because it's not a public venue. It's not like we're blowing up anyone's spot. So it's 2371 Tall Grass Circle in Bossier City, Louisiana.
They're
or some people say Bossier.
Central time is 2 hours behind.
Oh, are they're on Central Time?
Let me double check.
Because if they're 2 hours behind, they're Mountain then. Let me see. Let me look it up. I forget.
I'm looking it up.
I mean, I have friends in.
It's saying Central Time Zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 2 hours behind then.
I thought Central was 1 hour behind us in Eastern.
I googled it. It said it was 2 hours.
Really?
That's what
I'm
it
so
saying.
messed up. I thought Mountain was 2 hours, and then Pacific is 3. This is us here, folks. For you non-Americans, we do not understand our own time zones.
What do you expect? We use our metric system.
Yep. There's also if you can't make it out to the ceremony, there's also a GoFundMe. We were gonna start a GoFundMe, but apparently they already got one going. Tim Mullins is holding this up at. If I recall, Tim was one of his closest friends, so this should be legit. I haven't seen anything from his wife, but she's probably still, in a tough spot, and I don't blame her.
Yeah, it's not. I would hate to see the person that would not that would treat this like it's a light thing. So it's she's doing what she needs to be doing.
Yeah. She's probably gotta go through that awkward stuff. Hopefully, someone else is taking over the funeral arrangements and handling that, because having to take care of that and also the emotional trauma, that's just rough.
Yeah.
But it looks like it looks like they have a really good support system in place, and I'm happy to see that, because a lot of times you see people pass away and you realize just how lonely some folks were. Or worse, family comes out of the woodwork and then they act like they always cared. It's like, wow, this is the only time family gets reunited is when someone dies.
Or somebody dies, yeah. Or like when they reunite, it's like it's the only claim things. Like who's gonna get this? Who's gonna get that? Who's gonna get I cannot stand that.
Yeah, I
cannot stand that.
That's that ugliness, man. I was just telling a friend about. I went to an aunt's funeral a few years ago, and she was probably the only aunt I actually really liked on my father's side of the family, because they're more the ones that identify more with the European roots than the native roots and the African roots that we have. But then again, on their side of the family, they are very white. Like, to be honest, like the Spaniard blood is strong. Like, there's a lot of blonde hair, blue eyed types, or dark hair, blue eyed types, or green eyes and stuff like that, and
yeah,
alabaster skin and all that, So like they kind of looked down on the rest of us, and I remember I saw one of my cousins there, and we used to hang out when he was in college. And he did not recognize me. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember you." Like all hoity-toity. I was like, "Wow."
Didn't quite remember you, old chap. Who are you?
Yeah.
Who do you identify with?
Yeah, no, it doesn't ring a bell. Like I was like, "Yeah, I'm your uncle, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah." I'm like going through all these names, like,
You can.
Al and Pino and this guy and Tito and no. I was like, what the hell? Do you live under a rock?
You have re-encountered like the whole what's it called? Like the family reunion from like 1997, and they still don't remember you.
Mm-hmm.
You spilled that Worcestershire style sauce on you when you was young.
We pinned the tail on a donkey, remember? And you pinned the tail on Aunt May's booty. I know. That sounds like something. That's probably someone's story. That wasn't my story.
Close enough.
But so yeah, just family reunions, funerals. It's just awkward. Anyway, back to this. So yeah, the GoFundMe. That's did I close? I mean, that's how out of it I am. I think I closed the show notes. Oh no, I put them in a different window. Yeah, I'm out of it. So it is at GoFundMe.com/Josh hyphen, and I'm just gonna spell out the name because I suck with French names. I believe it's. I remember one time you told me he's Lefebvre. Lefebvre. Sorry, I'm trying to lighten the mood a little bit. Lefebvre. It's kind of like Brett Favre. I think it's Lefebvre. Lefebvre, I think is how you say it. It's like a silent BV. So, GoFundMe.com/Josh hyphen Lefebvre. If I got it right. Let me close out of
Lefebvre.
Lefebv as in Victor RE. So that's boy Victor BV. Lefebvre. You got it?
Yeah.
I put it Twitch. Oh, I didn't even. That's how out of it I am. I didn't even change the Twitch channel.
It's good to see that. I'll put it in Twitch too, if need be. But it's good to see that, the goal that they're going for is 750, and they've already raised at least 500 of that right now. It's awesome.
That's very doable. I mean, let's be honest. Funerals, if you go all out, you're talking about thousands of dollars, and then if you want to have catering, and all this stuff, because sadly some people won't show up unless it's free food, which is terrible to say.
Oh God, I know.
But
that makes no sense.
And I get it. Like, I feel like a funeral should end on a high note. I think it should be the opportunity to celebrate life and say, wow, we really are on borrowed time, and let's reconnect with each other, rather than just going through brief pleasantries, shedding some tears, and then whatever.
Yeah. So
I'm okay with that, having a little reception after the viewing, if you have a viewing. I mean, having an open casket, that's rough in itself, man.
Oh God, I know.
I'm still decades later. I'm still recovering from having to identify my uncle in a morgue. That's like the worst experience I can think of seeing someone that you recently saw, and you get that awkward call in the morning, and you see the reaction of a loved one, like when their face just goes completely dead. Drop the phone, like, what happened? And then they pick it up and hand it to you because they can't handle the emotional stress of it. Like, I'm like, oh God. And the way our viewing room was set up, I don't know if this is usually the way it works, but it was like a very slow moving door, and so it just built up the anticipation even worse. He was just so anxious, not in an eager way, just nerves,
Yeah.
completely shot. You keep hoping that maybe they ID'd the body the wrong way, and hopefully it'll be someone else. It's just a lookalike or something. And nope.
I know. I hate when you get told the information, because there's a time my dad told me he had something on his liver. It was like a spot or something. They couldn't figure out what it was, and I'm like, this is before I was going to work. I had to go to work early in the morning, so I got to work late, because just hearing that news was from your own, from the person that it's being affected by. You know, it was hard to focus. I mean, dad's still alive, but even still, it's like I thought at that moment he was gonna die, and nobody wants to hear news like that. Oh, even if it's like something small or something major. I mean, I couldn't even work, man. I little, 6'2" dude, in the bathroom. All of a sudden, and it was what made it even worse was that I had a coworker in the restroom too. I think he came out the stall. It's funny to look at now, but back then it was like I didn't care. I just like the other stall I leaned against. I was weeping hard, grown man, and it's like mid-20s, just weeping, and it was hard just to even think about. Well, a little bit more stuff happened, but long story short, I got sent home because I couldn't even focus on working. Just news like that in itself is not easy for anybody, whether it's over the phone from that exact person or even hearing word of mouth. It's just not anything anybody wants to hear.
And by the way, more information is coming in on the ceremony. I think it might just be an early ceremony just to celebrate his life. It may not be the actual wake or anything. I think it's just like more of a gathering. Dress is casual, but obviously, use a little bit of sense. I still feel like there's some kind of baseline. You don't want to go in there like, oh well, what's up?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to be all slick or either. I mean, it is Louisiana, so I understand people wear shorts, but look presentable. I feel like I don't know. I still feel like we need to respect the dead as much as we respect the living. I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned in that way.
Nah, I agree.
Be comfortable, but don't be sloppy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. It don't make any sense to like just roll up in there. You got your what are those jeans that kids wear nowadays? The ones that look all ripped up and everything.
Yeah, that's probably not appropriate, But some nice dressy jeans, nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
But they said dress is casual, so come as you are. And again, that address is 2371 Tall Grass Circle. And I think it said it's a legacy building. That means nothing to me because I haven't been out that area much.
Yeah, it makes two of us, but if you are in that area and you did support him, please go, because there's nothing like, especially the family, knowing that there's other people there to support them. And that's the main thing at the end of the day.
And also, if you are friends with Josh, his wife is checking his Facebook, so you can send messages that way. Susan is checking the messages. I think Josh's mom is coming down. I think she's still in Canada. Phyllis, they're coming down soon too. Man, I kind of wish I could make that weekend trip. I hope there's gonna be something else. I see. Cause I actually have family visiting that I haven't seen in a long time from out of state, and it's just like there's so much going on at once. Like, I'm just so whipped. I feel like there's very little left for me to give.
I understand. That has been my whole month. God, now that I think about it, I had my neighbor pass away, which is just, it was this month. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's that time right now.
We just met him, like literally a week before he passed away.
Met him. You just reached out?
Yeah, he was. We let him hold Evelyn, and I mean his wife is just like extremely nice, watchful. She'll look out the window. Somebody comes through the neighborhood that she don't even know. She'll let you know, hey, such and such stopped by your house, and hey, you know, this is what's going on, and she's one of those people, and you know, we let him hold the baby, and we got to talk and get to know him for a minute, and you know, eventually we had to leave because Evelyn was like, hey, my diaper needs some work, so we left, and you know,
like, hey, can you come handle this, please? Thanks.
Yeah, really. Then
TPS reports.
Then the week after that, I mean, you know, his son came over and he's like, yeah, my dad passed away. He was from the craziest thing, man. He had a tooth taken out and he didn't take his medication, and that's what got him.
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't. That, you know, you take for granted dental problems, but man, like even the slightest abscess that can happen to anyone from something you eat wrong that causes an infection could mess you up. It's a scary world. Anything can get you, man. Yeah. So, you know your body, and if something feels really off, out of the norm, go check it out. I mean, and I know I'm probably no one to talk because I'm the kind of person I'll wait till I'm in freaking complete and utter pain and discomfort before I go to the doctor.
You know, I don't know. Well, I think that's just men, though. That's what we do. It's like we literally wait until we got a foot hanging off by a strand of muscle. We're like, yeah, I think it's time to go get checked out.
You know what it is too? Part of it is also doctors don't have good bedside manner these days. So it's like they just increase your stress level. And you know what? Stress is like the worst thing. Like, I really believe if you have, and this is gonna sound some crazy notion to a lot of people out there, and like, this is what I believe. You don't have to agree with me. I don't care what science says, but I really believe if you are in a peaceful state, you relax more, meditate, pray, whatever way you do to center yourself, you know, you have a better chance of healing and surviving things. I've always believed that. You know, so doctor comes all doom and gloom is like, oh, it's terrible. You know, like, just the facial expression that makes you try to look at an X-ray, like, ooh. It's like, dude, where did you trade at? Like, did you go to butcher school?
Look like something off of Mass Effect Andromeda. He coming at you with that.
With the bug out eyes.
Yeah, the glitch face. But you know, the sad thing is, it's like, especially corporate companies nowadays, man, unless you're living in Japan, they want you to stay busy 100%. They're like, okay, cool, your production rate's got to go up, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to get this done, so on and so forth. And it's like, when you get home, you feel like the amount of time that you have to spend on yourself is almost nil.
Yep. And you know what's funny about it, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because you always hear this notion of work-life balance, and that's one of the contributing factors with Josh. I mean, he worked his ass off, and he had a strong work ethic, and I do too. And you know, I know you do too, because you got a bunch of awards from your company. I don't know if you want me to put them out there, but you know, your company.
From said company that shall remain unnamed.
I'll about to slip up and just put it out there, but you know, where I work at, it's not hard to find out where I work at. You know, go ahead and look it up if you really want to know, but. They actually, and actually me and my boss are working harder to push this more, but I really believe that our CEO, or the owner of the company, the president, is really committed to the little details. He really does care about the little things, and one of the things we're pushing for is, you know, if people are exhausted, take a break, and if you really can't work any further, don't push yourself, go home. You know, we've sent people home from warehouses. You know, when we could just tell that their productivity dropping off, and then just whipped. You know, and they may not like that because you know they don't get the overtime hours, but in the long run, it's better for them because you shouldn't be pushing yourself to that limit. When you're young, you feel invincible. You're like, oh, I can do this all day long, and believe me, it catches up with you.
It does, especially when you get older. And it's funny you mentioned that because, you know, my job now is like I'm supposed to try and bring more recognition to my coworkers. So, you know, I'm supposed to go and be like, hey, congratulations we've noticed what you've done. Somebody wrote in about you, blah, blah, blah. And we're supposed to recognize pastures too, but sometimes it just feels like I can find 4 tweets on Twitter right now by typing in my name and the name of my company that I work for. And it's mainly a comment-based system, how they reward these people, right? So you're supposed to get rewarded, I guess, every time you get a positive tweet. But I found 4 tweets underneath my name and underneath my company that I never received recognition for. Which the sad part is, it makes me think that if I'm like this, and I'm not trying to get recognition for this. You know, it was just an experiment. I'm thinking to myself, if I receive recognition for this, or rather, if I didn't receive recognition for this, how many other people are not being recognized? You know?
Yeah.
And it seems like it's a system that's just, it needs to be improved. I want to improve it, but I think the thing that's kind of stressing me out about my job right now is the fact that, number one, I feel like I am one of the few people that want this to change, and number two, whenever it comes to my management team, it feels like everything is just like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we'll look into it. We'll look into it. Yeah, okay, sure.
Well, you see,
and it never happens.
You know what it is? Like, see, and this is the thing, though. Your company, just for recognizing that they have to acknowledge a job well done, an exceptional job, that already puts them in like the top 10% of companies across the nation. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's an ongoing opportunity to improve that. The thing is, a lot of companies stumble into success, right? And they know how to keep things running, like how to sustain the business, but they don't know how to grow it. And growing a business means bringing in more revenue or saving money. And saving money means being more efficient, which a lot of people think, oh, just work people to the bone. No. Sometimes it means slowing down to speed up. Give the people extra breaks, give people extra time off, pay time off, rewards, so that the morale is up, so they're not exhausted, and so they're not, you know, beating their heads against a wall. You know, I work way better if I get stuck with a problem, I just walk away from it and switch to something else, or just stop thinking about it altogether, and then all of a sudden it'll hit me. Oh, I didn't try this. Rather than if I just stay there and look like I'm actually staying busy, but really I'm just wasting time.
Trying to figure out what to do, or like just trying to burn time until you get home because you got other things on your mind. Right about that.
Exactly. And I think companies are finally realizing this, that, you know, there's a big difference between being busy and being productive. And there's also a very big difference between effectiveness and efficiency. And you need both. But, you know, everyone's either on one side or the other. You know, effective is basically, what's that one saying? They say effectiveness is knowing, knowing the right things to do. And then efficiency is doing the right things right.
Hmm. Look
what Beard just said. He said,
"Yes,
for Yogi, why not run everyone into an 80-hour work week? You can't be angry by a job if you never leave."
That's essentially what companies are doing. It's just like everybody's a nail, and everybody's meant to be hammered into, you know, the base, which is basically, you know, the workplace. You got to hammer everybody and hammer everybody and hammer everybody until there's nothing left. There's just like a big indention where the hammer has kept hitting the nail, and, you know, the nail has been driven in. The wood is splitting. You know, you can't make it go any farther, but yet they want more for less. That's the one thing I can't understand, because the biggest thing about my job, despite the fact that you know, everybody, they do recognize customers or coworkers, is the fact that they don't recognize everybody. Because you might look up and somebody might get the award like 5 times and they're all like, oh, yay, this is my 5th one, yay. Versus that one person that's like, oh, wow, I have never gotten one of these before.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's the thing, though. I bet you no one owns that process. and they're so busy putting out fires and reacting to things, or simply they don't see the value enough. They're like, oh, there's other things that are more important. But the thing is, if you're going to have corrective action, preventative action in place, or what people call CAPAs, you need to also have rewards. And you need to have retention programs to build loyalty and to build morale. So, you know, so that person that's always getting missed out on, they can finally get caught, you know, because someone's actually owning that process of they're putting it into the workflow. All right, this in the morning I got the meetings. All right, and then at this time I do this report, and then this time I check tweets, and then I gotta go to do site visits, blah 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 blah. You know, end of business day report, whatever. You know, but if no one owns that process, everybody's just passing the buck. Like, oh, we know we have to. You know, how many times do you go to a meeting and then like you have people mouthing off, oh, so and so needs to get done. This needs to be done, but then no one says this is what we're gonna do. Like, there's no actual action being generated, and no one actually saying, all right, I'll do it. It's just like, this needs to be done. Well, who's taking point at it? Someone needs to be the leader, the champion.
Well, it's because, and like Taylor's saying, you know, no loyalty and morale is dead. Everyone is replaceable. And that is the biggest problem with any job, because if you can sit back and say, okay, such and such has been here, let's say Bob has been here for the last 10 years. He's topped out as far as his pay. He's got tons of experience, but yet we don't want to pay him that $20-something per hour. What can we do? We can hire at least, I don't know, let's say 2 or 3 people and have Bob train them. And then whenever they're fully trained up, we can get Bob. We just give Bob the axe. Tell him we appreciate what you've done. Good luck in your future endeavors. It's sad, you know. There's no. The biggest way to even build loyalty is to keep the ones that are actually keeping your company going, because they give your other employees something to aspire for. You know, if Bob's been working at that company for the last, I don't know, let's say 35 years, and he's actually made some really good improvements on the company, and let's just say that he's had his hands in a lot of different sectors of that company, then yeah, keep Bob. Don't fire him. If anything, he should be like a front runner of inspiration as far as getting more people to realize that, yes, I can make a future in this company. Instead of, oh, God, I've been here for the last 5 years. There's been no change. They say that after the first 6 years, you'll just become complacent and accept the fact that, you know, this job is what it is. So, you know, let's see if that'll happen. You know, 6 years goes by, 7, 8, finally you get to 10 years and you're like, I'm still not complacent. There's nothing else out there. I'm not happy. You know, something's got to give. And it's not like you can't go and get a different job, but there's always the fear of workplace security. Because, you know, you're making X amount of money. Let's say you're making $15, but you don't want to make less than $15 because of the way your lifestyle is right now. You make anything less than what you're making, you're afraid of going anywhere else because you'll have to cut back and you'll have to start doing things differently.
Yeah. You know, and I've taken pay cuts before just to get into, honestly, where I'm at right now. I make good money, but I'm not anywhere near what I used to make or what I know I'm worth. But I love the company culture, and it's a growth opportunity. So that's worth volume in itself, you know. Mm-hmm. It's something where I really feel like I make a difference, and I'm needed and wanted, and that's something hard to come by as it is. So, you know, you can't always chase the dollar. You know, I made that mistake in my youth. They're like, man, this company's offering me 6 figures and quarterly bonuses, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's great, but if the company go belly up or you're expendable, like Beard is saying, what's it worth? But, you know, another thing people have to realize too is, in most cases, if the company's smart, they have good enough management, they're gonna realize that it's more expensive to replace someone than it is to retrain them or give them the tools, the resources that they need. Like for us, for example, our vetting process is a minimum of a month long. For some, it's 3 to 6 months before we even hire them. As crazy as that sounds. It's like almost like you're working for the Pentagon or something, all this security background, and background checks and all this crazy stuff, and they actually check all your references. I mean, it's crazy, it's serious.
Well, at least they check references, because some people don't want to do that.
Oh yeah, we're thorough. And then
he knows people. He's good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh well, he was able at least to fill that out, because some people don't even bother filling that out. Or they oh, my references are Bob and Dad. Does that work? But the other thing too. I know Bob too. Everybody knows Bob. And then the thing too is the way we structure our company. A lot of the positions have tasks that are billable to our customers directly. So what that means is that we need to meet the criteria for the customers, so that there be certifications, security clearances, specific kind of training, all kind of stuff that needs to be under the belt, right? And we also put people on our probationary status when they start. And that pretty much applies to anyone. Some people come in on a 3-month, 90-day probationary period. Some people go in on a 1-year probationary period. Depending how critical the role is. Because we actually invest in people. Like, we want to see people succeed. So what that does is it gets into a feedback loop where we meet regularly and say, hey, what am I doing wrong? And what can I do better? Here's what you're doing right. Here's what you can do better. But it's a back and forth, because it's not just, oh, you messed up here. It's like, well, what could I have done better to help you there? Is there anything else you need? You
basically get employee evaluations then.
Right, like, and they're not formal all the time. Like, you have to do formal evaluations, but a lot of times it's just a realignment meeting. It could be 10 minutes. It could be a half hour. But I think the point is that
gotten some of those.
But it's something you have to, because managers a lot of times they're so busy again putting out fires, they forget about those things they should be doing. Like labor management. If you have a situation where you have employees that constantly get, 20 to 30 hours of overtime a week, at that point you could probably hire 1 or 2 other people. You know what I'm saying? And then that employee is not freaking always spread thin, and you have more people you could train that can relieve the rest of your workforce. But this overtime can still go out, but not that excessiveness. A little thing like that. But the whole point I was trying to make is that replacing someone, it's an expensive process.
It is.
You have to onboard them, and then when people leave, a lot of times there's tribal knowledge that leaves with them. Something that they knew and they never got to train someone else in, or it's something they just happen to be naturally good at.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to scurry to find someone that fills that void. So what happens? They can't find someone that fills that void, so they just fill it up with a bunch of busy work. It's like, well, let's just get a lot of people working on this, even though all that work sucks.
I've seen it in action, and it is funny, man, because it's like, when you think that your company runs on just like bodies instead of experience, brace yourself, because a disaster is coming. It's like back then, it was controlled chaos. You have somebody coming in, they're cleaning up because they have the experience to clean it up and keep it in one piece, versus that one person that just shows up and like, I'm here to work, I'm here to help. They have no idea what's going on. So, you put them in that situation, and you're like, all right, make it happen. You're like, okay. And then just flames, fire.
And it's expensive. It is more expensive in the long run to have people that do bad work and then you have to fix those issues.
Yep.
You know, so why not just pay more to get someone that actually does the job right, or keep the person that gets the job right, you know, or bring back the person that gets the job done right. You know, that I think that's really important. Like with us, even if we have a temp that did a really good job, a lot of time we'll be like, hey, bring that person back, we need them again. And that typically leads to a permanent placement. So we recognize performance. And, you know, there are some opportunities, believe me, but it's way better than what I've seen in a lot of other companies. So,
yeah.
The point is, it's doable, and you just gotta appreciate people more. And, you know, yeah, that mentality for a lot of companies is, yeah, everybody's replaceable, but that's a really expensive way to do business. It's a sloppy way to do business. Now, there are some people you can't train. There are some people that, you know, see, skills you could usually train, but if they don't have the base aptitude and the culture fit, that's the big one. If you don't fit in with a company, an organization, culturally, that's a big thing. Like, actually, it was funny because I found out that on my one of my assessments, one of the third-party auditors that looked at my packet said that they shouldn't hire me because apparently I wasn't a good culture fit. And I know exactly what it was that set off the red flag. And I said straight up, you know, I believe that it's important to have good work-life balance so that employees are refreshed and energetic at work and they're highly effective. But, you know, but then I went on to say, you know, and also furthermore, if you're working really hard but you don't have time to enjoy what you make, the money you make, what's the point?
Exactly.
You know, I just laid out on the table. At this point, I know what companies look for, but I think about dressing it up. I'm like, look, I'm gonna take some time off sometimes. No, another question they asked that you were told, Travis, like, do you believe in staying on task or taking frequent breaks? Frequent breaks, motherfucker.
You know, and it's funny you say that because like a couple of weeks ago, there was I remember when I used to work on like a lower section of the company I work for now, but I watched him go up the chain of management. You know, he became a frequent breaks for life, Taylor, but he became you know, an agent that had a little bit more responsibility until he finally worked up and became like a manager. And what he said always stuck with me. Not in a good way, but like a bad way. He said, you just got to embrace the culture and, you know, become part of the lifestyle. And I kept thinking to myself, lifestyle. Work and lifestyle do not go hand in hand for me.
But they should.
Well, here's the reason why. Because it's like, now understand that, you know, a good 8 hours of every single day for at least 5 to 7, I'm going to be spending my time at work. But when work is done, I'm going home. I am not bringing my work with me. So,
see, I feel you, but here's the thing. Everyone should ideally have a vested interest in the company's success. Enough so that they say, if this company does well, they'll profit more, and I'll get paid better, or I'll have job security. At least that. You know?
Okay, if there is job security and a good enough reason to make me feel like that, then yes, you're right. And Taylor's right. Work is there to fund my lifestyle. I understand that. But at the end of the day, it's like, if I'm doing a lot more than the previous guy, and we're both getting paid the same way, then you need to make a reason as to why I should live that work lifestyle culture. Because other than that, I'm basically sacrificing my time with my family, which, yes, I do need money to take care of my family. But your problems with your company are not my problems until you help me fix my problems. other than just the basics, if you really want me to help you out, then you'll listen to what I have to say. But if you think that I'm not contributing the way I should be, then that's also because of the fact that you are not looking at me the way you should be. So, no, I'm not going to dedicate my lifestyle to making the company better whenever, I look up and if I've dedicated all that time to the company and I don't have a family anymore because of the fact that I've neglected them, or I don't get a chance to watch my kids grow up because I've been so focused on the company, I'm not about that. I'm not about that. If you can help me benefit to where my family will benefit, then yes, I will dedicate more time to the company. But for the time being, no. You're going to get what I can give you. You're going to get my 8 hours. And if you want more, you're going to have to pay top dollar. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's how I look at it.
It's a tough thing. I had a friend tell me that if you're salaried, the more time you put in, the less you're making per hour. And I'm like, yep, you're gonna be stuck in a bad job the rest of your life. Because if you look at it that way, you're basically you can't always focus on the money. Because something has to give first, Obviously, your job is there to fund your lifestyle. Absolutely, company know that. But at the same time, you have to think about what value you're creating and how you are enabling them to give you the things you want. Because it's got to happen on both sides. Sometimes you have to put in a little extra so that you get that recognition. And even if it's not for the company, it's for you, your own benefit regardless, because that makes you more marketable. You're getting those kudos from your customers. Maybe they could write you letters of recommendation. You're collecting business cards. You're building your network. So nothing's ever a waste if you're really driven. You know what I'm saying? If you do it right, it's never a waste. But a lot of people have that mentality.
But I think that mentality works better if you're in like a smaller, more personable company where you actually still have a name. But when you're in like a huge corporate driven company to the point where you have a name, but your name really becomes a barcode or like 735-679, then your value is going to be about the same as the last person's. And like Taylor said, that value can easily be replaced, especially once you've garnered enough respect from the company and you've done enough to for the company to make them profitable. Now they're like, okay, we squeeze out the juice out of this melon. Let's see, squeeze out the juice out of this lemon, orange, whatever you're going to use. Pick a fruit. They're going to be
hey, they built a statue for you already. What else do you want?
I mean, yeah, they want you to leave because they're like, you gotten too expensive. We got to get rid of you.
Yeah, and unfortunately there is a lot of that. I'm just saying, I'm on the mentality is like do whatever you can. So like at least on your end, you did everything you could. You know what I'm saying? You're good. But don't kill yourself either. I agree with that too. B says I've seen guys work themselves right out of a job before.
Yep. Yeah,
and sometimes it's sad too. You have to just stay in your own lane, put the blinders on, right? But like you said, it does depend on the culture and the company size. Because like in the Maya Corporation, a lot of Fortune 500 companies, you're pretty much gonna have a highly specialized job, and there's gonna be very little room for you to really differentiate yourself. Because your job is so specific. A lot of times the job roles are cut so specific that they do kind of structure them so anyone can come in. But if you're in a position where you have more fluidity and you could take initiative and add more value to the role, then it's a lot easier to work that in. But there's always opportunities, I guess I am a bit of an optimist, Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being an optimist, especially if other people appreciate that optimism. But it's also like a point whenever, you're doing everything that you can to the point where you look up and like, we appreciate it, but we're going to go with Bob. And Bob is like the cousin of the CEO or something. And he's only got the job because of the fact that he's the cousin of the CEO.
Oh, yeah, well.
There's a lot of that, too. There's a lot of that.
Who you know and not what you know. That's really... That's the tale as old as time. how many times you look at someone in a high position and you know they're dumb as shit. And they might have paper certification, paper credentials, but it's like, you just look at them like, whose dick did you suck? Seriously, dude. Cause
at the bare minimum, and I do mean bare.
Ooh, got him. But switching gears a little bit, and again, I want to say, Josh, we're gonna miss you, man, and we're gonna probably, shout you out here and there, keep the spirit going, and give everybody the opportunity to participate in that GoFundMe. I'm reaching out to the person who's coordinating it to see how long they're gonna run that for. But again, GoFundMe.com/Josh hyphen, that's what some people call a dash, Lefebvre, B as in boy, V as in Victor, RE. Pizza, that's how he got his job. Wiki.
You gonna throw that in the chat again? There it is.
Oh, hold on. Why is it doing that? You should be allowed.
I'm not trolling. I'm trying to help.
I don't even remember how to. This is how long it's been. How do I? Gotta add you to the allowed list.
I gotta wait till. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you.
Can I mod you in here? I thought I had it set up so I could mod you. Let me see.
Just a papa. Toe papa.
Let's see if I can mod you from here.
Oh, also, something that Yogi and I have been talking about. Even Tuka, we kind of want to have a charity stream for Josh, for Rarrapuda, because before all this even happened, he was just gathering up followers like crazy. I mean, one minute you look up, he's got like 500. The next minute you look up, he's got 600. Finally, he got past 700, I think, and this happened. So we're trying to figure out when the best time to actually get together and stream would be, as far as a charity stream for him. I think what the only game that really would be fitting is Minecraft, because that's what he did.
Yeah. Well, he also likes his Rocket League too.
Yeah, Rocket League. Yeah. But he was a Minecraft man. He was a Minecraft man.
Minecraft's definitely his thing. I finally started getting him into Paladins, and he kept saying we're gonna play like one or two times, and then, well, keep putting things off. What can I say? And you always assume tomorrow's guaranteed, but it's not. It's the sad truth.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna see, cause if his wife could gain access to his channel, and she could reach out to his followers, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So imagine if they could get in on a GoFundMe. Like, even if they all do $1, I think he finally hit 1K just before things happen. Like, damn, $1 times 1,000. Even if only like half the people do it, 500. I could help out his family big time. See, everybody does a little bit. It's collective economics, man. It works. But yeah, if you wanna stay in touch with us, we have a chat server. It's free. You go to geekyantics.net/Discord. Again, geekyantics.net/Discord. We should put in here the GoFundMe.
I'm already trying to put this on my pages.
Official, yeah, I gotta put it up on our Geeky Antics Facebook, which is facebook.com/Geeky Antics. Alright, official fundraiser for Josh.
War Baby is going off today.
Yeah, my family was like that earlier. That's why I started a little earlier than I was expecting. I'm surprised they're not blowing things up right now.
Let me see. Just to make sure I'm added that to Twitter. Wow.
It's a good picture of him. It's a very... Like, you may not know him, but you can tell right there he's a good guy.
Yeah, he looks happy.
An epic beard.
I'm still trying to grow my beard. That's taking a long time.
Yeah, after I got so much left on it, I finally trimmed it. Look a little more appropriate for the business world. So
Yeah, I got to catch up with that.
It's semi fluffy.
I got to shave the neck beard.
Yeah, I feel you. I got the same thing, man. But
Wow.
folks, just switching gears a little bit. So we're gonna be, we're still gonna be at 11 o'clock on 11 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. But sometimes we might start a little earlier. And right now, I'm actually in a lot of pain, like emotionally and physically. I'm just trying to keep it together as much as I can. So yeah, 10:30 is probably what we'll be shooting for. At least to get a pre-show going, and then start about 11:45, something like that. So we're a little finish a little earlier. I mean, we might also just condense the show format, because I know people don't have a long attention span anymore, and two, I know a lot of times it's brutal when we finish at like 1 or 1:30 in the morning. So we'll see. We're gonna see. There's gonna be some tweaking over the next few weeks. So much on the to-do list. Also, our friends over at Gaming Death, at the Gaming Death channel, twitch.tv/Gaming Death. They're now on Tuesdays, so they're actually sharing a slot with B Team. So you have the option of B Team podcast over at allgames.com, and then they also syndicate on our network at geekantics.net. Well, you have Gaming Death, so depending on what you're in the mood for. Plenty of options now on Tuesdays. Already mentioned the Discord, so we got that. And I was gonna share some little anecdotes. I guess we can share these next week, and so we can start wrapping up the show. We did have a few news, and I'm trying to see if anything's timely that we need to mention. I know there was a big thing with Doctor Who. Everybody was losing their shit about
the female Doctor Who.
Yes, like super spoilers. Good thing I already saw it coming, and I also would have been like, "Come on, internet!" Like, everyone's like, "Oh my god, her doctor's a female now!" Oh! And the thing that was killing me is so many people were like, "Now I'm gonna watch Doctor Who." Like, really? That's the thing that made you decide it? Come
the
on.
funny thing is, there's a rumor about 007 being they're thinking about turning Bond into a female now. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Beard's giving us some pointers on how to keep the show short.
You say something about the unicorn poopy?
These got jokes at all 9 of those tweets complaining about a female doctor. No. Actually, people were very receptive to it. But again, it's been like teased for a while. And then they had the female master, so the female doctor had to come behind it. And then I love Missy. What a great character. So I mean, there's not much to talk about there. I won't swoon over it. I need to catch up. I'm about 3 episodes behind, but I'm excited to see how the transition happened. At the same time, I'm actually sad to see Peter Capaldi go. He actually really came into his own in the role. Like this season, he was just boom, boom, boom. And I don't think it was just really so much him. I mean, yeah, he's top notch, but I think the writing just got that much better because they had those extra few months to really put together good production. Shame. So yeah, we could probably put together this stuff for next show. I think with this, the serious though, I feel just weird kind of switching to more lighthearted stuff.
Yeah.
So I think there's a good stopping point. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, I mean, there's you know, as much as we tried to put in some funny moments in this podcast, man, it's just still don't change the fact that, you know, so like I said at the start, man, just keep your friends close. Let them know you care about them. Talk to people that you hadn't talked to in a long time. I mean, if you don't have anybody, don't be afraid to reach out and make friends, because at the end of the day, it's what you leave behind and who you touch as far as your life and their life is concerned. So don't be afraid.
Yeah. I'm definitely with that. You know, a lot of times, especially as guys, we try to bottle stuff up and try to be tough, and you know, it's one thing to be strong, you know, and it's another thing to just be guarded. You know, like, strength is not bottling up inside; it's actually weakness, because it takes a lot of courage and strength to share things that are difficult and uncomfortable with other people. But that those revealing moments could be a moment where you can save a life and provide hope for someone else. We're all going really through the same shit. It's just people don't talk about it. You know, everybody's all about appearances. Oh, I gotta keep my car clean so it looks like I'm on top of shit. Oh, got my pants ironed. I look like I'm organized, but I'm really a hot mess.
My car looks like crap. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, you know, that's the kind of stuff we worry about. You know, and in the hood, people worry about their shoes looking crispy. You know, like, oh,
they
look,
can't even afford a house they live in. You're right. You're right.
Yep. It's all about priorities, man. But definitely, you know, next week we'll probably have some really late news, and that's fine. You know, Comic Con went down, so trailers we got to talk about.
Everything that we want to talk about this week, just, you know, put it bluntly, it just ain't as important as what we're talking about now. You know, family comes first, and that's especially in this case. So we'll get to that whenever it's time to get to it.
Pete is such a clown. He goes, my shoes have to be crisp. Hats too. Car has to be 100% too. 100.
Ain't worried about his beard then.
He got to impress people I don't like. Beard's over there to lighten up the mood. But yeah, no, definitely, like, you know, if something feels even the slightest bit off, talk to someone about it. You know, that might be something where someone could say, I had that same issue and I went to the doctor and it ended up being appendicitis. Go check it out. You know, it's super stuff like that. Like, you know, you take for granted, like, ah, man, my stomach really hurts, and you figure just walk it off. You know how many times I have friends tell me, man, I went to the emergency room and they told me if I waited even an hour more, I would have been dead. I hear that story so much. A friend told me she had her gallbladder had burst. Oh, wow. And she felt like the kind of pain you get when you have really bad gas, you know, which is old people problems. # old people problems. You know, and it happens. You get really bad gas. It doesn't want to come out either direction, so you start getting sharp pains, and it's an uncomfortable feeling. But it was worse for her, but she figured it was just a really, really bad case. Finally, she was like, all right, this is not right. And she started feeling lightheaded and stuff. She went to the emergency room. She had a bad infection. Like, not only did it rupture days ago, but it was infected, and it was going to her bloodstream. And the doctor was like, I don't know how you're still alive.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like, you know, it's crazy how delicate we are, man. You can fart the wrong way and die.
Yeah, get that prolapse thing going on.
Yep. See? You know what I'm talking about.
That butt turned inside out.
the Patrick the Octopus come out and play. It's like, oh,
You droopy cheek syndrome.
So, talk things out, And then I'm speaking out loud. I gotta follow that advice more myself. That's we try to be pretty candid on this show. That's what we go off on a tangent, speak from the heart. And we have show notes. The show notes are more of a general guideline, but we hope that when we get into these real moments, we speak to people out there to realize they're not alone. There's other people going through struggles, walking down the same exact path they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't. You gotta create that space to allow the right things to come into your life, which means reaching out to people, which means networking and sharing those uncomfortable things. It's really what it comes down to. Because no one makes it alone. You need that support network. You need those resources, those friends, those muses, those confidants, all that stuff. All counts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
now
rambling.
would not be a bad time to go talk to the hot chick that you've been avoiding the last couple of months.
The hot chick?
The hot chick. This should encourage you to do it, because life is as long as it is short, and it is what you make it. So
we're about to get some of our married friends into trouble.
Some of our what?
Some of our married friends.
I mean, if you're married, you're married. You can't do nothing with that. You sit down. I'm talking to the single people.
Oh, okay.
So
good.
If you're single,
good save, bro.
Yeah, if you're single and admiring somebody from a far distance, and you've got a chance to go talk to them, you need to go talk to them. Period.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't wait. Life is as long as it is short. Like I said.
Because if you ask me, the regret of not trying something is far worse than the regret of trying something and then not panning out the way you wanted to.
Yeah. Because
you know what? 100% of the time that you don't try something, nothing's gonna happen. It's just like, why am I even bothered? Because you really gave up in your mind. You really lost in your mind.
Yeah.
But if you try something, you never know. No, not within reason. Use some common sense. I'm gonna try crack cocaine tonight.
It's good.
That's probably what you don't want to go for.
Yeah.
Oh, But
well,
other
maybe
things.
you do. Maybe that'll help you lot. No, I'm kidding. Don't do crack. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Now you can do coke, the drink.
Crack cocaine. Well, I don't know. That even sounds kind of quick.
Has some soda pop. I like the word pop. Pop.
It's all fun and games until you get the actual version of Coca-Cola, the old school one.
Ooh. But if you think about it, the word pop, it's got that nice P sound in the beginning and the same P sound at the end. Pop, 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 pop. It's comforting. If you know what, that's gonna be my little the last thing I'm gonna leave you guys with is if you feel frustrated, just say pop a bunch of times, but whisper it to yourself. Pop, 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 pop. See? I mean, whisper it like that, it does something to you. It makes you feel tingly.
So, Yogi, tell us where you can find you.
I'm Yogizilla everywhere. These days, mainly on Twitter. You'll try to definitely make more of an effort with the Xbox thing and Steam, so we could do more game nights, and that's our time to interact. The games are more of a backdrop. It's more about the conversations and just catching up with each other. So let us know if you're into PC gaming or Xbox gaming in particular. You can mail us, mail@geekantics.net, or leave us a voicemail or a text message, 646-801-2149. Again, 646-801-2149. 646-801-2149. I'd say a little slower. And that's a good way to connect with us, and then we'll get some things going. But those are good ways to connect with us as a whole. How about you, War Child?
warchildgames.com. Also, I'm on Twitter at warchildgames. I'm still holding off on doing Warbound Radio because I'm trying to find a place to have more space. But lately, I've been doing a lot of Gamer Dad Chronicles, and there are some seriously rough cuts. Whenever I tell you they are rough cuts, it's like extremely rough. I've been filming them in my car after work. So that's on SoundCloud. And Yogi knows he's heard them. He's like, bro, levelator, now.
Because I'm like, I'm already hard of hearing something. I can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah. But that's also on warchildgames.com. Just hit up the website. I got all the contact info up there if you want to contact me. And if you need somebody to play games with, Destiny 2 was coming out next September. Wolfenstein and Shadows of Mordor or Shadows of War. The next Lord of the Rings game is coming out in October as well. And we got some other stuff. So if you need somebody to play with, hit me up. It's all one word. Warchild Warchild MK4 on PlayStation.
Oh, you did it too. That's usually what I do. MKIV.
Yeah, because that's my Xbox tag. That's why I do it. I actually did have it on PlayStation for a minute, but I think because of the fact that I didn't keep up with it, it kind of locked me out of that account. So I had to go to Warchild MK4, like the number 4.
Oh, gotcha.
Believe me, I would like to get that name back, man.
I gotcha.
But then I'd have to change everything, so yeah. I'm gonna just keep it.
Changes. Who moved my cheese? It's a good book to read. It helps you. It's a book that helps you deal with change. It's more in a business setting, but there's some useful life insights there too. That's another recommendation, along with pop. But with that, folks,
reading is Good to Great.
Oh, that's who wrote that one? Oh, I sound familiar. Good to Great.
In 1 minute, I can tell you.
I saw that on someone's bookshelf recently. I think at work.
I believe it is James C. Collins. Yep. James C. Collins.
Isn't he a preacher too?
That I don't know. Oh, he made Good to Great and another book called Built to Last and another book called How the Mighty Fall. I'm still trying to...
okay, yeah.
Still trying to get through Good to Great. And it seems like it's a pretty good read so far. I know it's mainly meant to be like a business book, but I'm looking at how I can possibly apply it to my life as well. So,
yeah, I like dissecting. Like I'm big on personal development, and a lot of times I'm looking for a specific kind of book, and it hasn't been written yet because I should be writing it or something. So I'll just get a book that kind of gets on that tangent, and I'll repurpose it for what I want to do.
Yeah. That's how you gotta do it.
Like sometimes I'll take a cooking book and repurpose that into a fitness book. So like it'll say beat the eggs, and I'll find a way to dance while I'm doing that. Yeah, that happens.
Say goodnight, Yogi.
Good night, Yogi. See you guys next week.